I'm doing a master for this CD. I do the mastering process, and I do the mixing process. But I'm going to go into how you can achieve and what compression does, and how to use it. I'm going to use the Sony HD camcorder, so if you can't hear it, I'm going to do some drastic changes so you can actually hear what the compressor is doing, and we'll go from there. But first of all, I'm going to show you how this is hooked up. In most home studios, you have an interface, and in this rack over here, we have this DBX that I'm going to be running stuff through. Watch, you hit play, and it's got the signal going through there. Now, how the heck did I do that? That's one thing that a lot of people ask. Like, okay, that's cool and all, but how the heck do you do it so you can play it back and process it? Let's just pretend like you got a Digi 003 rack or something. You need multiple outputs, you need multiple inputs, in the case of doing what I'm doing with a lot of equipment. But the thing is, every interface has a way to create a hardware insert. If you're using Pro Tools or Logic or whatever you're using, there's some way to insert an I/O. In Pro Tools, you go to where you put your plugins in. You scroll all the way down in that drop-down box where you put your plugin in, like EQ, Dynamics, all that good stuff. But scroll all the way down, it says I/O. You're going to create an I/O. It'll usually come up analog 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on your interface. Now, let's just pretend like I got a 003 or a 002 or a 001 or something. It doesn't matter. Say you got a Focusrite, or you got a Sapphire, or you got a Profire 2626, whatever you have. If it has multiple outputs and multiple inputs, this is how you make a hardware insert. You run the outputs of, in my case, the DBX. We run it to, let's run the outputs to the inputs of the interface on channel 3 and 4. Well, that's cool. Now we have the outputs of this going into that. So most people will be like, what do? Hook up some mics and then we run it right in? No. You run the same exact thing, just flip it around. Now you run the outputs of the interface 3 and 4. That's why you got multiple outputs in this case. Outputs 3 and 4 back into the DBX. When you go into your Pro Tools session, go to I/O and go to 3 and 4, and then it acts like a plug-in on your track. Once again, output of the DBX to the input 3 and 4 on your interface. Why did I say 3 and 4? Well, it could be 5 and 6, it could be 7 and 8. Just make sure they're corresponding, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So then out of the out 3 and 4 of the 003 back into the DBX, so it created a hardware insert, and that's how you do it. So let's get into this real quick. I'm going to push play on the track, but before I push play, let me grab this coffee. I'm going to push play on the song and not spill it on anything. I always leave anything. So some people do this. Cool on the guitar part. So the guitar players in the studio is like, dude, I love it, But the goal is to make everybody sound good, not just that guitar player. So what I had here was I had the threshold set at 0 actually, and I had the compression ratio 5:1 for every. This is how it works. For every one it goes over, it compresses it 5 times. So it's 5 times the compression. So in a mastering situation on a 2-track like this, it's probably not the best solution. Below this, we have a Manley. The Manley's set at 1.5 ratio. So let's set this at 1.5. We don't want to smash it as much, and just set the threshold the same and see what happens. Okay, anyway, what I'm going to tell you here is I actually already mastered this song. You can see the jump in volume. That's overcompression. I overcompressed the signal. I made it sound bad by using a compressor. See, you can do that. Now, if you do it right, then the results are a lot better. So I wanted to take a second to talk to you guys about this mixing process. The mixing process is the art form of taking a lot of different instruments, different multiband. As far as when I say multiband, I'm not talking about the plugin. I'm talking about
the different frequencies and the response of those frequencies, the dynamics of those frequencies, how to fit those frequencies with other instruments. It wasn't meant in a sense to confuse you, but mixing is an art of taking all the instruments and making them all sound good as far as a whole. It's not just using these compressors like you just saw in the video and just slamming stuff on them and trying to go for it. A lot of practice, a lot of time to be able to do the mixing process. The mastering process is a different thing in itself. It's not what we would consider a overnight kind of deal. You got to have some of the stuff like the Manly mentioned in the video. We have a Dangerous back CQ. We have the Apogee Rosettas, Apogee 88,000 SEs, and the Apogee Big Ben clock. And right there, the integrity of your audio becomes so much more than if you were just recording at home. See, I start writing songs that mean a lot, man. This one means something. You took my soul and stuck it in a suitcase, locked it up and moved it to a new place. Changed your phone number that last summer, so no more loving like I was some kind of bum or something. No more conversations and no closure. Were you scared to share the reason that this whole thing was over? It's not a love song, it's a I did everything wrong song. Thanks for leading me on song, but you're gone. With no closure, no white picket fence, no big lawn. So I thank you. If it wasn't for her, what would he do? It's obvious. Continue down the road of false compliments, cliche talk and false confidence. Since you, I dropped the life full of slick talking arguments. So here's to you, respect for you. Though your motive was untrue, your heart won't undo the lies we went through. To compromise on what we won't do. The lies pierced my heart like a sword that went through. You respect me, I respect you. Done. To a prisoner of lust, come on, just move. Love was in the room, he left when he saw my love wasn't there for you. I'm sorry.
Wonder if I'm the only one that feels lonely.